Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Krishna Priya. This is the Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It's Saturday, the 19th of July, 2025, and we have with us an old friend and a dear friend, and also an incredible channeler with us today, Daniel Scranton. Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Karen, well, I know you as
You can
Karen.
call me Karen. I took the name Krishna Priya about 4 or 5 years ago from my guru in India. So,
Wonderful.
yeah,
So, yeah, we've known each other a long time.
a long, long time. Yeah.
We
So,
did the second channel panel together in LA.
second channel panel, and we were on the same radio network, the Enlightenment
Right.
Evolution Network that was Rob Gothier's network.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was fun times. I used to do the introductions, remember, for every,
hmm
for
And that
every.
was before podcasting took off.
That's right. We should have stuck with it.
Yeah.
We would have been huge. Anyway. So it's so nice to have you. I'll tell you who we have in the room. We have Susan, Adriana, excuse me, Ariana, Christy, Emmanuel, Leela, Michael, Wendy, and more people coming in. And plus we have our family on YouTube. So they will also be, if possible, when it comes time to asking questions. So
hmm
just a few announcements. We have coming up the pendulum class on the 23rd of August. If that's something interesting for you and you're interested in learning to use an external tool to you, but something that can help guide you with energy, healing, connection, then the pendulum class might be something for you. You can find out about it at classes@hucolo.com. So send a mail and then we'll get back in touch with you. And then we will start with some blessings. So we'll go in this order. Susan, Christy, Ariana, and I think Leela, you wanted to do a blessing or not? Am I wrong? Did I forget?
No.
No, you didn't want to. Okay. And Michael, I think so. So Susan, what did I say? Susan, Christy, Ariana, and Michael, whenever you're ready.
Ta sika ya tuto sia hia su ya tite ya su tu ya kia titu sia ya kia tutu sia ko tutu ya si kia tutu sia ni kia tutu ya hia sia u sia ya ti ko to sia hia tuku ya ti hia sia ya ku ya ti tutu sia hi ko to ya tita sikia ko to ya tita sikia u sika ya tutu ya ti tutu ya Hia sa ia kutia, tita ia su ia tia, kitia, tutuia. Blessings.
Thank you. Christy, whenever you're ready.
Namaste.
Namaste. Ariana?
I kene hara hata makanai kono hina mai na makatani heta kono mo na hana kana mai at ata mai so mo kanai sene kana mo kono ire kana hana kana mai kono mai here kana kama kono mana hene makanai sene mo kono mai kamana.
Michael.
E sukuma ka sate ka nata sate pa pu ka sa a pa sai ti kusu sa papala ta ka ta ya tu mama e ke kusu pala ta a se hu se te pa maka ta huta e te huta. Blessings.
Thank you. So, Daniel.
Yes.
Because there's a whole group of people here that I'm not sure if they know you or know your history, but would you kind of give an intro to yourself, who you are, what, sort of some a short, brief introduction to your channeling, how you got started, what it's led you to, and where you are now? How's that?
Sure.
In
Yeah.
5 minutes or less.
I just realized my computer wasn't charging, which is bad when you're doing video.
Okay, do you need a moment?
No, I think I got it sorted now. I didn't realize. Okay, there we go. I heard the sound too. So yeah, I was a big channeling enthusiast for many years. I'd say from like 2002 on. As soon as I discovered channeling, that's all I wanted to read and listen to and attend other people's workshops. And I even had a private session with Daryl and Bashar in 2005, so 20 years ago. And at the time, I didn't know Bashar was an alien. and and then I got really into Abraham, and I went down the whole Abraham path for many, many years. And I think because I was meditating all the time, and also because I was so focused on channeling it, and I got attuned in Reiki too. So like I started giving people Reiki, and things were happening while I was doing the Reiki. So my hands would move by themselves over people. I had no idea why my hands would lift off of the person and then just start moving on their own. And then my head started to do this while doing Reiki, and then I started making whispering noises. And then in March, so back at this time in early 2010, I had no inkling whatsoever that I would someday be channeling until I started making those whispering noises. And when I made those whispering noises, I thought, well, that could be like a beginning to some channeling that I'll be doing. And then I also had no interest in ETs. So I was a person who was happy, like just hearing from Abraham. And, by then I had found out that Bashar was an alien, and I just didn't have the interest in connecting with ETs until in March of 2010, I had a big download experience, upgrade, activation, all of that rolled into one in the middle of the night, where I had a dream, and in the dream I said to somebody, I understand now about the other beings, but those other beings I assumed were ETs because of the person in the dream being a friend of mine who was really into ETs. So I woke up from that dream, and I could feel like this energy coming in, and it was coming in through the crown of my head, moving through my body, waves and waves of energy moving through me, and it was pure ecstasy. I was absolutely astounded by it. I thought, this is coming because I've had this pain in my body recently, and I was actually feeling quite a bit of despair about it. In fact, the day before, I had been contemplating suicide. And so I thought, oh, this is coming to help me heal. And that's why I've been summoning all this energy. Now it's coming in. And so I then started wondering about it and thinking, I wonder what this has to do with that dream that I had, where Peter Beamish, the videographer for Abraham, was the guy in the dream. And he's what I turned to, and I said, I understand now about the other beings, because whenever he would talk about aliens, I would always think, oh, come on, Peter. And so then I wondered, what does this have to do with aliens? And then I got a huge surge of energy go through me, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep saying aliens in my head and keep getting more energy. And that's what I did. And then I started asking them questions, and if the answer was yes, I would get a surge of energy go through me. If it was no, I would get nothing. So this went on for I don't know how many minutes until I thought, maybe they're in the room with me. Let me open my eyes and look around. So I took my eye mask off. I start looking around the room. I don't see anything, but I start feeling the energy coming in again, like full force, like it was in the very beginning. And basically from that point on, I was more interested in feeling that kind of feeling again than I was in, like, I didn't suddenly go, oh, I was kind of interested in ETs, and Wendy Kennedy, I found out, was channeling ETs, and Nora Harold, and of course I knew about Bashar. And and I thought, I just want to feel that good again. I didn't necessarily think I'm going to start channeling now, but then 8 months later I was.
Yeah.
And that too involved Abraham, because I was at an Abraham workshop, and I had gotten to this point where, I mean, I could give myself a full body goosebump feeling. That was as good as I could get back to that experience in the middle of the night. And then sometimes I would go really deep into meditation. I was still trying to heal myself. I think I had a hernia. I'm not really sure what it was. It will flare up every once in a while, and it's right near my belly button, but right now it's fine. I don't feel anything, and it doesn't ever stick out, but I didn't know what it was. I just knew that like I had something that needed healing. So I would sometimes do like these self-healing meditation things, and I'd start to feel all this energy and it would make me dry heave. So I would just be like that. And so I knew in those moments I was really tapped into something. And I started doing that at an Abraham workshop in Asheville, which are smaller ones. And so I stopped myself from doing it because I'm like, I don't want to be a distraction. Everybody else is here to see Abraham, not me convulsing. So, but the next day I got in the hot seat and I was able to ask Abraham, like, what's going on with me? You know, I had this thing in March that I had already talked to them about, and now this is happening. And they said, you're going to do what Esther does.
So that came through Esther.
I came through, and it was totally unexpected.
Beautiful.
Because a lot of times they would say, Esther would say to Abraham, I guess, in private, is that person really channeling? Because they were
very skeptical. She was always skeptical.
Channeling. Yeah, they would say, I'm channeling, but it would sound just like Abraham. Yeah. And so Abraham would say to Esther, they're channeling your website.
Yeah.
But that is the problem a lot of new channelers experience too, because I teach channeling and I know what it's like. I know from experience, it's hard to just have your own voice right from the start. I think there are a few people, it's rare that they do come through and it's very much like, okay, this is not me and it's not something I already know. It's something brand new that I'm tapped into. And obviously people like Jane Roberts were doing that. She was not like reading Edgar Cayce all night and then channeling and it sounded just like Edgar Cayce. Right. So anyway, that's beside the point. I at that point go, wow, that's not what I expected. I expected Abraham to tell me, you're trying too hard. You're trying to force something and make something happen. And that's why. But they said, you're working through your resistance to it. And they said, you got to keep doing it. And if you keep doing it, you will. And so then at that time, I had an ex-girlfriend who was my girlfriend at the time, and she was in London and I was in LA. So we were Skyping all the time anyway, 4 times a week, 4 to 6 hours at a time. So I was like, okay, she was of course very excited about this news that I was going to channel. And so she would sit with me and I would just be doing this for like 45 minutes and nothing coming out. And it was just a lot of face and head and neck contortions and movements. And I felt the energy, and that was good for me because I knew, okay, something's happening. I feel this. I feel the energy present, but I don't know how to speak for it. And it's just, I teach this in my classes too. And I tell people, like, you don't necessarily need to know how you're going to translate the energy you're getting into words. You don't need to know like the mechanism behind it. It just happens at some point. And that's what happened. Right. Is it just, I didn't suddenly get a secret decoder ring and figure out like, oh, this is what that means. I just somehow was able to speak, and I spoke the words, "We are here for you," the very first time from the creators. And that was the first thing I channeled. And then every time since then that I've gone to channel, I've been able to connect. And since I channeled the creators exclusively for the first 3 years, I then began channeling Ophelia the Fairy, and then the Hathors, and then Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, and the founders, and the list goes on and on and on. And some I feel more comfortable with than others. Like I would say, if you're interested in talking to somebody, like
is that you? Who's
yeah. It could be actually. I don't know. I heard that sound before when I was doing Zoom, and I don't know what it is.
I think it's your phone.
But it's not I don't have my phone hooked up. I don't know what that is, but it happened during one of my events.
Or is it an alarm? Is it an alarm?
If somebody knows what that is, please tell me.
It might be an alarm. Is it an alarm maybe?
don't know what that is.
Oh, well, it's done now.
Yeah.
It was
I mean, it's
it
very
was a
inconsistent.
it was a musical underlining of your words.
It has to have something to do with Zoom because it only happens during Zoom calls.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. But yeah, and so the Arcturians came in 2016, and they came around the same time as my current and last wife, the last wife I'll ever have, came along, and I've been channeling them ever since.
Yeah.
That was just that was not planned either. Not like I didn't know why I wanted to channel Arcturians. I just did. And so I started to bring them through, and the messages were very, very different than what I had been getting, and very topical and, of the moment stuff. So I just stuck with them for a long time and only channeled them. And then in recent years, I do these channeling classes, and when I take everybody else into the channeling state, I go in the channeling state too. And so I mute myself, and so everybody can have their own experience. And I started channeling Thymus, who is the collective of ascended masters. Through that, I channeled Saint Germain and Melchizedek, and all these beings, even things that you wouldn't expect, like quarks, like those subatomic particles, quarks.
Oh, wow.
They came through me. My spirit guides, like everybody just comes through when I do now. When I do this for myself channeling thing that nobody else hears.
That's awesome though, because it continues to grow and expand. And
It's great.
you've been channeling now since 2010.
Yep.
Something just struck me, like I was sitting here listening, I was like 10,000 hours to be a master. So
I think about that too.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about like how your channeling started to where it is now, it's probably light years different in just sort of knowing how to maneuver your energy, what you're tuning into, how you're letting things flow, the freedom that you have. I mean, is there anything like that you want to share about? Because there's a lot of people here that are, I would say, beginner channelers or new to channeling, maybe channeling a year, a couple years, and maybe just talk about like how that, because everyone wants to be a master like right from the beginning, and some people may be, but as you learn to negotiate the energy, how has that changed for you?
Trust, being able to trust it
Yeah.
and say, okay, if this is what I'm getting, then this is what's meant to be said. I don't have to edit it. I don't have to like leave anything out because it's too specific or too out there, just letting it all flow. Because sometimes I'm getting images too, and the images are very detailed, and that informs the words, that helps. Because no one is a ventriloquist dummy who's channeling. Like everybody participates in the channeling itself, whether they know it or not. Even if they're in a trance, they're still participating, and therefore it is always a coming together, a collaboration of the spirit or the ET or whatever, and the person who's doing it. And we're all doing our best to sort of put it out there in the most understandable, easily digestible way. And again, we all have these different levels of like our feelings about our own channeling and whether we think it's good or not. And that all affects it. But I too aspire to be as good as Daryl Anka, or Jane Roberts. Like I'm at that point or Paul Selig is another one I really look up to, and I go, maybe someday I'll be that good, or maybe I'll always be the backup coming off the bench to Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan will always be Michael Jordan, and there's only going to be one. I don't know, but I sometimes wonder about that. Like why did Jane Roberts get to be so good at it? Like from the very beginning,
But Jane Roberts was very different, don't you think? I mean, she was in a very isolated situation, and if her husband had not recorded everything, we'd have no record. But she just really, she channeled to mainly go into print. I mean, I know she was channeling in the moment, but if it hadn't been sort of collected, so we got the Seth Speaks books, like, I don't know, was there 5 or 6, books?
There's all kinds of books that
Yeah.
they put out over the years, and it's well over 30 books now.
It is. We had and what's funny is we had them in my house and I never read them. No, it's
Mike
really
Dooley
funny.
told me that too. Mike Dooley said his mom used to read Seth.
Yeah, so it's funny.
Yeah.
I became a channel, but but what I was going to say is that, she was in a very certain category and she was very much alone. I mean, there was nobody channeling. And if
There
you
was no
think about
support.
like Esther Hicks or Bouchard, I mean, they were already channeling 15, 20 years before you ever started channeling. So I would just say that like your idea of like, am I ever going to get there? I have to imagine you will,
Yeah, well, Daryl, he's over 40 years now doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've listened to some of his stuff. There's stuff of his now on YouTube from the 80s, I think. I think it's from the 80s. It's really old. He has hair. He has a beard like mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still good. It's still really good way back then. But everybody has a different journey, and that's the thing. Like we're all meant to reach different audiences too. Some people
Sure.
probably can't stand Bashar's tone and things that the way that he speaks so matter of factly, and they just get turned off by that. I once had a person I was trying to introduce to Esther and Abraham, and I had tapes from the early days of her too, like cassette tapes, and the woman was like, her voice is too nasally. And it's true, her voice was in the beginning much different than it is now. So that's another thing that happens over time.
Yeah. It changes. Your voice
More
changes.
comfortable with the energy, yeah. And Wendy Kennedy sounds very Australian when she channels.
I know, which is so funny.
This woman at the furniture store we're buying furniture from like a year and a half ago, and I'm like, good God, you sound just like Wendy Kennedy when she's channeling. I'm thinking that to myself. I didn't say that to her.
That's funny. And she's really a California girl, right? She's from
I
California.
think she's originally from somewhere else because she was in Chicago when she started
Oh,
channeling.
okay. Okay. But yes, she's totally Australian. And I remember thinking, who's this Australian lady? Because she and Nora used to channel together.
Sometimes,
And
yeah.
do tag, and that's what I used to watch. And they would sort of do this sort of tag team channeling. And one would be channeling, Nora would be doing, I don't know who, the fairy that laughed all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
And-
they both channel the same collective from the Pleiades too.
That's right. Yeah. And they would switch off, and I was always so confused. Like, who's this? But they were great in that time. I loved when they did that. It was so nice to, and it was also too, I also like watched a lot of Esther Hicks, and yeah, but I really enjoy, I used to listen to the CDs that you would get every 2 weeks in the mail, and I would just listen to them until I got the next one,
Yep,
Yeah.
over and over, yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think that plays a part too in giving everybody who's interested in channeling like an attunement to have yourself listen to the channeling of others, because it does put us all in that state together.
Mm.
If you really want to, like, right before I started channeling, I'd go to the Abraham workshops and I would think, I'm going to open up and I'm going to receive. I'm going to get something direct because I knew I could at that time. And as opposed to just sitting there and being in my head and thinking, well, what question would I ask if I got in the hot seat, and keep raising my hand and getting nervous about getting called on or not getting called on. And eventually it was like, I just want to be here for the energy, and experience it. And that's what happened on that day. And it was in October of 2010 where I got up there and they told me, you can do it too, and you will. It's funny, the first time I was in the hot seat, I asked Abraham, well, tell me what's in my vibrational escrow. That's what they used to say before they said vortex. Yeah. And they said, you will someday write several well-received books. And I have well-received books on Amazon right now. I have like 8 of them.
Beautiful. Everyone go to Amazon, Daniel Scranton.
I have a lot of books on there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
we're at
An
we have
hour.
about we're
Okay.
at 30 minutes. So if are you complete? Is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to?
I don't have anything else I have to say. I mean, I could talk to you forever, but
No, it's awesome to hear. I just want to tell you one thing, and this is something that I noticed. It doesn't happen now, but it used to happen. When I used to get ready to go into channeling state and I used to connect, and my connection at that point was much longer than it is now. Now I can kind of go right in within like 3 or 4 seconds. But when I was just sort of going in, I used to hear Bashar and I would hear Daniel, you, and I would hear Rob. And it was like, and I always had this feeling like that we were standing around a pillar with our backs to this pillar and we were just connecting to this energy. And I always thought, this is that place that we're all in that connection. And I would hear, like you always would go, huh, what the sound you would make. And I would hear you do that. And I would hear Roxy and I would hear everybody in their connection. And it was always just a fascinating thing. It used to happen like every time. And I was like, oh, this is where we all stand.
yeah,
In our
yeah,
energy. That's where that was my thing. I was like, oh, we're all standing here in this
yeah, yeah.
place, you know?
The
Yeah.
in-between zone,
Yeah.
the reality that's created by the two realities merging.
Merging. But I always saw it like a pillar of light. And
Yeah.
it wasn't, I guess we were standing on something like a platform, but I didn't see that. I just saw this pillar and then just sort of all of us sort of around it and more people. I'm not just saying us, but more people and just having that. Yeah. But definitely with our backs and sort of light coming from through our backs and in through our hearts. That's what I saw. So I don't know if you ever experienced anything like now I just go right in and I don't have that sort of hang time before I connect till when I connect. It's kind of more direct, really quick.
Yeah, I should explain to anyone who's never seen me channel before, the tones and the sounds are not my idea. It was never my idea to do it that way. It's just that's how it comes. And
Mhm.
I just always have surrendered to this is what they want to bring through me initially. And I think it does a lot. It serves a lot of purposes, but it's not me getting them. It's them coming through initially as sound as opposed to just saying, hey, we're here. So there's about 2.5 minutes of tones and sounds, then they introduce themselves, and then we can just start with your guys' questions.
Okay. You normally start with a little monologue or do you
Okay, we can do that too.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I will
Okay.
let them say whatever they want to say in the beginning, and then you guys can take over from there.
Awesome. It's great to have you. Okay.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. Yes, yes, yes. We have so much love in our non-physical hearts for all of you there on Earth. And we especially love that you respond as you do to our energy and our teachings. You respond to us and what we offer because you are reminded through our offerings of who you are and what you already know. You are, of course, multi-dimensional beings who exist in many different star systems and on different timelines and at different time periods all at once. You are focusing a portion of who and what you really are into a physical body and around a physical body there on Earth to give you that experience. But part of waking up is recognizing that you are so much more than just that person, that character that you are playing in this lifetime. And so making galactic connections is about you understanding more of who you are through us, through the feeling you get when you connect with us, when you receive channel information from us, when you channel us yourselves, when you seek out contact, actual ET contact for yourselves. It is you accessing more of the whole self, more of who you really are as a human being who is experiencing yourself as an ascending being and an ever-expanding being. And so this ascension experience is all about inclusion. It's about expansion, which automatically includes more as you think of yourself as a sphere, and the sphere is expanding out in all directions, and then you have to include everything that's in the sphere as you as well. And when you awaken, you start to recognize that what I'm experiencing is another aspect of myself, and it's showing up in this way to inform me of something or to give me an opportunity to forgive or to release judgment or to heal or something. And when you focus on ET contact in that way, rather than the traditional way, which says, well, they're either here to save us or destroy us. It's going to be one or the other. They're either our saviors or our enslavers. And you have to get past that sort of traditional Hollywood movie storyline. Of course, not all Hollywood movies have had that storyline. There's been some good ones about ET contact, and you've seen all of those. And part of what those movies do is inspire you to want that kind of contact where you know that you're going to receive a feeling that helps you to know yourself more fully as a source energy being that you truly are, which is, of course, all inclusive, inclusive of everything. But you have your own story. And one of the stories you have is, I am from this star system. I've incarnated in this star system more times than any other star system, those types of things. And that is true to some extent. It's your oversoul you're talking about when you're speaking in those terms, but you are there to be an earthling at this time, and you can be very valuable as an earthling. You're not just of value because you originated in the Pleiades or somewhere else. You're of value because you have a human lifetime where you're having all kinds of experiences, learning a lot, focusing, feeling, desiring, and creating. And that's what makes you interesting to so many of us who are from other places. We're curious about you, just like you might be curious about how people live in an entirely different culture in another part of the world, and what foods they eat, and what entertainment they enjoy, and what clothing they wear, and what ways they have of experiencing their relationship to source and their relationship to earth and their relationships to each other. It becomes fascinating to study other cultures, and that's the way we all feel about you there on earth. So we want you to know you have value just being where you are and who you are, and at the same time you will continue to expand and know yourself as more than the traditional human and the idea of the traditional human that you've had there on earth. And now we've said enough. We know you have questions. We're ready to take all the questions that you have.
Perfect. Thank you so much. The first question is going to come from Susan. Go ahead, Susan.
Hello, thank you for coming today. So I do have an Arcturian connection, and I think I work with the Arcturian Council in Astral and have Arcturian lifetimes. But about a year and a half ago, I was told in a channeling that I have a connection to the lavender ray, and that in a subsequent channeling, I was told that there is a lavender ray temple in the Arcturian realm. And the energy, I guess, is slightly different than like the violet ray of energy. And I'm just wondering if there's any information you can provide about the lavender ray or the Arcturian connection to the lavender ray, or how to best work with that energy, I guess, more consciously.
What does it mean to you, the lavender ray? How do you experience it? How does it help you to know more of who you really are? These are the questions to ask yourself. And if you want to answer those questions, you can. Because yes, we have different temples in our star system on different worlds, and we've used all of the different vibrational energies that we can. Of course, we have different names for these things, but color does represent a different frequency, and therefore all the different temples that we have in our system and on our worlds serve different purposes and help people to connect to different energies, different beings, different consciousnesses in different ways. We are sorry we cut you off. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I guess I should spend a little more time dwelling on the concept of lavender ray. I guess I connection to wisdom, to kind of the light vibration, purification, clarity of consciousness are just some of the things that are coming to me now. But yeah, I haven't connected in with it recently. It just came to mind to ask about it because to see if there's I guess a special connection that the Arcturians have with the lavender ray or using that energy.
Not only the lavender color or vibration, but all that are in your spectrum and beyond are certainly explored in our system as we do like variety, and diversity is a big part of the expansion process. And so all of it is interesting and helpful to us in our exploration into who and what we really are as source energy beings. So you can rest assured that your oversoul has that incarnation in our system with an aspect that is exploring that particular temple that represents that frequency, and you can cross connect to that being by using the representation that you have of that frequency as the color lavender, and meditating on the color lavender with your eyes open, with your eyes closed, seeing what sorts of things that evokes for you, what it brings up, and how it helps you to feel more of yourself, more of the being that you truly are.
Beautifully said. Thank you for your amazing insights. Much love to you. I'll let you go on to the next question. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Much love to you as well.
Thank you. So should we just refer to you as the Arcturian Collective, or how would you prefer to be called?
Arcturians, Arcturian Council, whatever you want to.
Okay, thank you. Ariana has a question.
Hello. I was in meditation like a few years ago, and I went to one of the planets in the Arcturian system with one of my starseed family members, Shendavin, and I saw the planet that he was like living on, and it was like white striped with orange stripes, maybe a little red in there. And I was just curious if you could tell me what the name of that planet is.
We had a name for that planet when we were using language, and that name is Orelus.
Oh, wow, beautiful. Thank you. If it's okay, I have one more question.
It is very okay.
I'm wondering if I could get some assistance, some healing for my cat, and for her teeth, because she might need like a surgery. So, just if anyone, if one of you wouldn't mind coming and checking on my cat, I would greatly appreciate that.
How are you feeling about it?
I'm just nervous for her to feel any pain. So I do feel a little sad or nervous about it.
And are you processing those emotions?
I don't know. So maybe not.
So that's the way that you can help yourself and help her the most, is by making peace with it and by taking time out where you focus on how you feel and possibly even why. Maybe there's a reason behind it. Maybe you feel guilty, like you didn't take good enough care of her and now she's in this situation. But it's important for both of you to grow from the experience that you're having, and also to trust that it's a part of the path that you're both on, and that she does have her own guides and helpers and soul and oversoul that are all contributing to the healing process. But as you shift yourself to a higher frequency by dealing with your emotions appropriately, and then accessing the emotion of peace, the feeling of love that you have for this little feline friend that you want so much to take care of, and you access your compassion for her, then you are making a type of progress spiritually and progressing yourself as well to a timeline where everything can work out in a way that is comfortable and is better for all people involved, including whatever person will be performing the surgery if it's necessary. And so as you soothe yourself and you put yourself in that state where you know that this is for the greatest and highest good of all, or it wouldn't exist as even a probability, and you sit with your beloved cat and you pet her and you reassure her that everything is going to be all right, then all of you will have a much better experience of this process of moving forward. And sometimes a process of moving forward with a healing does involve someone having to get a procedure or a surgery, and other times it's something that can be handled just by allowing the body to heal itself. And certainly you can continue to explore that and those timelines and what they feel like. And as you take care of your own vibration, you're more likely to put yourself on one of those timelines where your cat is suddenly not feeling any sort of pain or discomfort in the mouth.
I see. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Let's see. Who's next? Leela, go ahead, Leela.
My question is about Tiamat. She's a dragon goddess, and I would like to know if she's direct aspect of my mother, and if you have any message.
Aspect of the same oversoul, yes. And the message is that you are as powerful, you are as confident inside. If you go looking around for that confidence, you are as strong as any aspect of your oversoul, any aspect of your mother's oversoul, any aspect of source energy that you can conjure up. And if you can see it in the dragon being, if you can see that the dragon has these traits that are very attractive and alluring to you, then that means you have them as well. And you can use your appreciation for dragons in general and your dragon friend specifically to put yourself in that same vibration, where then you're accessing more. You're accessing more of who you are, and you're allowing more of who you are to come to the surface and to be expressed through you. And that can mean that you're expressing for your dragon friend specifically through light language or other channeling, to feel the connection, to feel the energy, and the importance of the dragons in the ascension process, as they are helping all beings with the traversing of dimensions. They're very good at that, and they want very much to be of service. And so as you tap into them and you are allowing that to happen, then you can definitely feel how the partnership is serving you and serving all dragons who are very interested in expanding their horizons as well and exploring different cultures and different beings throughout the galaxy and universe. As humans have something to offer, you have something to share of yourselves with them as well. So explore and celebrate this partnership that you have discovered, that also helps you to feel closer to that truest aspect of your mother, which is her oversoul, of course.
My second question is, I find out something interesting and I would like to know more from you. Who is the galaxy god? Like every galaxy is supposed to have a own god.
Yes.
So I would like to know, can you tell us more about the galaxy god of our galaxy, Milky Way galaxy?
Exactly. So this universe of ours, which we are all in together, has a source which is like an oversoul being for our universe. And to us, that would be God or a God or source or the all that isness of this universe. And of course, the galaxy is a smaller slice or chunk, if you will, of the universe. And therefore, there's an all that isness to our galaxy that is the consciousness of all of us who comprise the galaxy put together. So if you think of everything and everyone working as a harmonious whole to expand and to explore and to experience, and how that is represented by a consciousness, a self-aware, sentient consciousness. That's what's happening when it comes to the experience of our galaxy as an oversoul being or God being, however you want to categorize it or label it, it doesn't really matter. It's just the awareness that you have that all of it put together, all of the parts are a part of a bigger whole, that it's a holographic universe and a holographic galaxy and a holographic solar system and holographic planet, because we are all so connected that there really is no separation between us. And yet there are beings who experience that oneness and that wholeness and maintain it for all of us, so that we always have that to reference. We can always channel or connect to the all that isness and know ourselves then more completely as a harmonious whole, rather than a fragmented self or a fragmented species, or all the different ways that we've known ourselves that have been less than the whole truth. But of course, the various parts are not less than the whole in a sense, because we're just having different experiences than the whole is having. And one is not better than the other. It's just more expanded in that sense of more inclusive and more all-encompassing. And so it helps you to think along those lines, to recognize, I am a part of this bigger whole, and the bigger whole is also inside of me because it is holographic in nature. Very good. We thank you for your questions.
Thank you so much. Okay, Adriana has a question. Go ahead, Adriana.
Hello, thank you so much for coming. Many of us here have hybrid children. Our parents have hybrid children, and I myself have an Arcturian hybrid child. And we would love to hear anything you can say to us as parents. About the hybrid children or the hybrid program.
It's one hybrid program. Of course, the one that most people are talking about when they talk about the hybrid program is the one involving the beings that you know of as the Greys or Zetas or parallel Earth humans, however you want to label them. They are the ones who have the most offspring with all of you, that have resulted in Bashar's people and civilization and the Yael, and others as well that are popping up that you'll be knowing of soon enough. But these other programs with Pleiadians and Arcturians and Syrians are much smaller in scale and scope. And these beings that were co-created with you to be the hybrids are the connection points for civilizations, so that it's easier for those of us who are Arcturian to come together with those of you who are earthbound, since we share these beings that were co-created through our consciousness and physicalness and yours. Now, they're very self-sufficient. They don't need parents to take care of them, but you do share the genetic line, and the love is there, of course, that binds together these different beings with you, all who have your hybrid children, regardless of what other species they were co-created with. There will always be more for you to discover, more love for you to experience, and experiencing love by having a child is, of course, something that is a big part of the human experience. And the more ways in which you're able to experience that, in other words, you have nieces and nephews, some of you, and you have people who you're very close with, close friends and their children, there's always going to be an opportunity for more of a variety of different expressions and experiences of love. And that's also why these hybrid programs exist in the grand scheme of things, in the big picture. We all just want to experience more of that love that we truly are, and that bond and that sort of parental feeling of, I created you, I'm responsible for you. That gives us all an experience of love that is quite unique. And you all get to experience that as you move forward into the contact era that you're in now, and beyond the contact with the initial beings that you'll be connecting with. Then it will expand out to include more star systems like ours, and Sirius and Andromeda and so on.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Michael has a question. Go ahead, Michael.
Greetings, Arcturian Council. So what I've gathered and everything, like when human DNA was changed, that there was like 23 or more than different ET DNA that created us, whenever that time was.
Yes, a long time ago.
So like fight or flight we get from reptilians or Lyrans or something of that, but yes, anything.
This is true. Yes, you do have all these different components, these different traits that come from various parts of the galaxy. And of course, you have your own journey as a soul through different experiences, including the Orion Wars and including wars in other parts of the galaxy, as well as peaceful resolutions and coming together and first contact experiences that you've had in other parts of the galaxy. And so all of that is woven together in the DNA as a part of the galactic history, your personal history. And of course, because of genetic alterations that have been made, it has in some ways accelerated the experience. You're not who you would be if you hadn't had those interventions by the ETs that were coming to, in a very self-serving way, of course, but not in a way that they thought of as enslavement. A lot of humans, of course, come to that conclusion that we were given this and that trait to be enslaved. It wasn't quite that way. They always intended for it to be a temporary arrangement for them, the Anunnaki we're speaking of now. But it's important for everyone who is in a human body right now to make peace with that, to see it as part of your storyline, part of the human history that was always written in that way, and to also be in that place of gratitude even for the ability to exist as you do, which wouldn't have come about without that intervention of those geneticists.
Okay, good. And just one more question. Could you please send love and prayers or healing to me for my new timeline that I'm in? I need it, please. Thank you. Blessings.
Yes, indeed. all the best to you. We are offering you more than words as we come through, Daniel, here, not only from Connecticut in the United States, but the transmission of energies coming from our system are going directly to each and every one of you who is connecting to us in this way. It is a very special experience for us as well. And as we said in the beginning, we appreciate that you have an interest in us and in our little neck of the woods here in this part of the galaxy. And so we will always be offering all humans whatever we can, but especially during times when you're connecting to us in this way, you're opening yourselves up more to the healing and to the support and the love that's coming from our star system. So very well done and well put. You are always shifting, always trying on new timelines. And when you realize that, it's good for you to acknowledge that there's an adjustment that needs to happen there. And in your adjustment period, you can use all the support you can get. So just relax and open up to receive it. And we promise you that you will. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much. Christy has a question. Go ahead, Christy.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you in this way. I want to share an experience that I'm having, and I would like some feedback of you, please. I am connecting to yous in various ways, but I was advised by Renturis Volantrius a few years ago to buy a camera, and he advised me to start taking photographs, which I've done. And I continue to take photographs of different beings and orbs and things like that. And I've been doing that now a few years. But what's interesting is that I'm starting to have these experiences where the beings are coming through my eyes. My friend passed over recently, Helen, and she was gone across about 6 months. And I took a photograph of my face, and she was in my eye, the pupil of my eye. She had been appearing in the garden prior to that, and she allowed me to photograph her. She was the first person that I was connected to come through. And after Helen came through, other family members that had passed over start appearing in the peripheral and the pupil of my eye and continue to do so. This is really interesting. It happens very sort of, it happens like a feeling, I guess, when I'm going into a channel state or I sense that there's something around me. But I've been taking a photograph of my face. I don't know why I started. But this is happening to me, and I'd like your opinion on that, please. Thank you.
Yes. Well, of course, part of the awakening process for all of you is also the awareness that no one ever really dies, no one ever really goes anywhere. It's just a change in their frequency that allows you to experience them in a new and different way. And those of you who understand that they do still exist and they exist in spirit in that realm, you also know that they can come in to you and into your body and into your aura. And when you have equipment that doesn't have the same limited range of a spectrum of sight that you have with your eyes, that piece of technological equipment can pick up on that projection of their consciousness. Now, of course, it is a co-creation between you and the other people in spirit now to demonstrate something that heretofore may have seemed like it was just a nice refrigerator magnet or bumper sticker to say, well, that person exists on in your heart or exists on within you, or you have an aspect of them, a piece of their soul with you always. And the truth is, you really actually do. And sometimes you need a physical representation of that to really understand it. And that's why you're getting
Thank you
what
so
you
much.
Yay!
Thank you so much. It continues, and I really enjoy the experience. Thank you so much. Much love.
Thank you. Thanks, Christy. Dee has a question. Go ahead, Dee. Or do you have a microphone? I hope. No? Okay. We'll come back to you. Wendy, do you have a question? Go ahead.
Greetings.
Yes, great to you.
So we have a group of channelers that comes together and we post on channeled illuminations. And I've noticed that several of us have had similar experiences to Daniel with the vibration and the frequency and just wanting to be in that energy, and all of us, working with Reiki and having, hands-on experience and quantum experience. I know when I do quantum healing, it's all, over Zoom. But there's so many different beings that come through. And one of the last messages that I received was to do more toning. And I was told, oh, good, you're starting to do more toning. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm always doing toning. Like, what do you mean more toning? How much more can I be doing? But is there anything that you can tell me about kind of this channeling journey for myself and for this group?
Well, what we can tell you is that, of course, it's good that you have each other. It's good to have support. It's good to be connecting with one another and helping one another by pulling the energy and the information through each other with your desire to experience someone else's channeling and someone else's perspective. It's also true that it will always be something that's in a state of constant evolution and constant becoming. And so as you experience that, as you see yourself moving into these higher and higher states and getting yourself to this place of allowing in more energy and being able to speak for and translate more energy, you'll find that something like that message to you of more toning may not make sense to you at the time. Your logical mind's not going to understand what that is all about, but there will be something for you in it to continue to explore, or at least the message was saying to you, this is good, keep doing it, keep it up. More can just mean do it more often. Not that you have to expand it, although it will naturally expand and you'll be able to hit different notes and you'll be able to do more with the toning that will help you in opening portals, will help you in communicating with ETs, and will help you in achieving certain frequencies with the helps of those various energies, those various frequencies that you can emit through yourself as an expression of sound. And that is not in any way less than the expression of words. So it's important to see it in that way as well, that the words are not better, the words are not the end goal, but the sounds in and of themselves have power and meaning for everyone.
Oh yeah, that would make perfect sense, because my team keeps having me buy all these instruments in between, chimes and different flutes, and they're always having me work with sound. So I had this experience when I was in Mount Shasta, separate from the sound stuff. While I was out there, I saw this Arcturian face that was the size of a moon. And I could see these like donut shaped portals, about 5 to 7 of them. I I was just like fascinated by it. But it was during meditation, and then I was also seeing what I call, the hydrolace, which is literally like looking at the plasma of the air in the sky, and it looks like little sparkling silvery dots. But after I had that experience, I noticed that I'm doing like a lot more astral travel, and I'm really remembering those dreams. But when you're, kind of that eyes wide awake, and seeing that more and more often, that, you'll catch something either out of the side of your eye, or you'll just see it straight on. And that experience lasted for several minutes and just fascinated me. But that diamond white light. So can you tell me more about that experience, like why it was so important to have that Arcturian connection at that time, and anything more about that? Because I know that I'm being told, oh, you're on a lot of healing councils, and you're, working with this council or that council. So I'm very aware of my multidimensional self.
Yes. And the self, of course, that goes off at night while you are asleep and has these types of experiences, working with various ET beings and collectives, physical and non-physical, and you're on the precipice of physical ET contact there on Earth. So everything is about readying you for that now. And that is another part of readying you for the completion of the ascension into the fourth density, fifth dimension experience that you're moving into now. So as you rack up these types of experiences, the main message behind all of them is this is a sign of more to come. This is what it is right now, and it's good, but it's also a stepping stone to something else. And what you're going to find is that when you're in a particular mode or a particular phase of your life, you do cross-connect more to certain entities that are part of your oversoul in different star systems. And when you're connecting to beings and collectives in our star system, it means you're really on your spiritual path. That's your main focal point, is to be spiritually adept and to be very curious about where you can go next with your spirituality. And that's a big theme in our system. It's the main theme in our system, is the exploration of how to become more spiritually attuned and how to continue to advance that process of becoming more of who and what we really are.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I love your energy.
Thank you.
I really feel it.
Yes. We are so glad.
Okay, thank you. Dee, you have a question? Let me unmute him.
Do they want to
Yes,
write
one
it?
moment. I just have to unmute. Maybe he can. You have to click. I'm asking you to unmute. You have to click the little microphone that has probably a red line through it, and then you unmute through that. If not, I can ask the question for you if you want to type it really quick. In the meantime, I will take a question from the chat. There's quite a few, so let me just go through those. Let me see. Okay. Is Christine wants to know, is putting a name to a person or a place necessary to connect to that consciousness, or can just thinking of that consciousness bring the connection?
The name can help, but it's not necessary. The name can be representative of the overall frequency, just as a sound or a color can be, or an archetype or an image can be helpful. And that is why you now benefit so much from all the downloads, all the channeling that's ever happened over the history of humankind. So you have these people describing, this is what an angel looks like, this is what this ascended master looks like, this is the image I got, and you can use that to attune yourself to that same frequency. But a name is not necessary, and oftentimes we really don't have names. We don't go around calling ourselves the ninth dimensional Arcturian Council because everyone knows us by our frequency, and that's how beings and collectives are known once you get to a certain point where you graduate beyond language. You don't hold on to a name. Bashar will tell you that's not really his name. That's just a word that means messenger that is appropriate to use to refer to him. So whatever name you get, just take it, run with it, go with it. Don't worry about its accuracy, because it's in all likelihood the best you can do to try to represent what it is that the being or the collective truly is as an energy and is as a frequency. And that's all you can do, but you don't need it.
Thank you. I'm just thinking is the name. Says, how do you thrive as an ambitious woman in this world while knowing that what obstacles women face during their lifetime because of the patriarchy?
Well, you start to think in terms of the changes that are afoot, and you start to look for examples of very successful women and how far they've come, how far collectively the gender has come since the movement has been afoot, which spans a very long time, of course, hundreds of years that women have been seeking to have more of a say in what goes on, not only in the world, but in their own households. And so you can see that you're a part of a movement and that you chose that gender and that challenge so that you could experience what it feels like to move from where you've been to where you're going. And you have a lot of sisters out there who want to join you in that, and you can get power in numbers as you support each other, as you see that you're all not on the same side, but all, because there are no real sides. You can take a side and say it's us versus them, it's women versus men, but you don't really want to take on that kind of perspective on it because it's not helpful to you. It is helpful for you, however, to say we are all women, we all have the same experiences of being objectified and diminished and being seen as second-class citizens and weaker and all of that. And you have that collectively that you've experienced over millennia as well, and you're moving beyond it. And it's a very exciting time now for the feminine energy and for the females of Earth to rise up and not think of yourselves as overpowering or toppling the patriarchy, but just seeing the patriarchy as existing as a challenge that you wanted to face the energy of. But certainly things are changing and will continue to change, and you can be of that vibration that says, I want to ride the wave. I want to be a part of this, but I don't want to push against anyone. I don't want to think of myself as being oppressed anymore. I don't want to think of myself as being a victim. Instead, I only want to focus on empowerment and how I find that and how I look for examples and role models of that so that I can feel more of the strength and the power that is within the feminine energy and always has been, even though you sort of have been trained to think that it's not as powerful of a force as the male or masculine force. And so it's up to all of you to claim ownership of that and really exemplify that, and think of the examples that you want to set for the daughters and the younger ones as well that are there looking to all of you to be the trailblazers that you set out to be in this lifetime.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much. Let me, I'll ask the question. Is Heka, who is an Arcturian hybrid, my galactic daughter?
Yes, that is an appropriate name. Absolutely. And yes, you do have that hybrid daughter to connect to, and you will connect with her. In all likelihood, the probability is extremely high for that connection to take place in the next 10 years.
Thank you. And is there a special message for Dee, and also sending so much love to the Arcturian Council?
Well, thank you for that. The message your hybrid daughter has is keep looking to the stars.
Thank you so much. And just 1 second, I have to go back to my YouTube page because I've been clicking between different things. I click.
It's all that toggling.
Okay, these are the last questions as well because we are running out of time. So there's just a couple that I want to make sure that we get to. One moment. Oh. And once again, it's such a pleasure that you're here. So thank you again.
It's a pleasure for us as well.
Okay. Let me see your channel. I'm happy to click all the way back. Okay. Sorry. I'm trying to get to Gary's question. It's kind of, I've lost it in the other chat that is going on. Let's see. Up high. Okay, Gary says, can the Arcturians, that's you, expand on the physical ET contact in Southeast Asia as I was moved to come here for contact, concerts, and being in joy?
Because being there represents to you more of the alignment that you seek, the alignment that is necessary to manifest that very high vibrational experience, and because it seems like a very exotic place, a very different place for you, that puts you in that mode as well of connecting to something that is very different from you. And so it made all the right sense for you to do so. And of course, people in all areas of the world, regardless of where they are going to be a part of this full open contact experience. And therefore, wherever you feel drawn to be at this time is where you're meant to be, to anchor those experiences in to the collective consciousness and to make it as easy and joyful and seamless for yourself as possible.
Are there any body changes? This is from Deerland. Are there any body changes happening at this time? It seems to be a very different energy right now.
You're shedding everything that you don't want or need. And sometimes that purging experience can be uncomfortable and downright painful for some of you, but you'll find you're attracted to lighter things, lighter foods and activities that bring you into a higher frequency state with the use of the body. But ultimately, you're all transforming all the time, all shifting all the time to lighter and lighter versions of your bodies.
And just well, yeah, this is a question from Manuel. He says, is the internet going to switch over to quantum internet?
Possibly, but not anytime soon.
Okay.
But obviously there will be a lot of changes to come to all the systems that you have in place, and new systems will be born out of the ones that you have. So you can expect that absolutely, but also recognize that there is a timing for these things and you can get excited about them now, but also just work with what you have and appreciate what you have for the time being.
Okay, thank you. That was our last question that we were able to take at this moment. Appreciate you. Love to you, blessings to you, and it's an incredible blessing to have
you for your service in facilitating the interaction. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Hi.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Daniel, we always do as we before we leave, can you give, and I don't know, are you really back? Are you fully back? I don't want to just start.
Yeah, no, I'm all set. Yeah.
maybe give your website and anything you have coming up that you want people to tune into, watch, get tickets to, please let me know. Let them know.
My website is danielscranton.com. That's also my YouTube channel's name. And I have lots of events coming up. If you go to the events tab on my website, you'll see a very long list of things coming up because I've started to do a lot more of these types of Zoom group events that are very affordable for people to join. And I'm doing just this upcoming week, I have an activation event. I have a CE5 event that I started doing just a few months ago that are so fun and amazing. And I'm so glad I got that inspiration. I always do weekly Q&A events like this on Thursday nights. And yeah, there are lots of different ways to work with me on my website if you just explore that. I have all kinds of new things coming up, a healing certification program that will start next month, and then a life coaching one in September. So there's lots to explore.
Beautiful. So danielscranton.com. I'll make sure it's in the description of the video as well.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. So Daniel, thank you so much.
Yeah.
One last request that I have is generally when we leave, we have someone do a blessing at the end. And so if you would do that, that would be fantastic. It can be in a light language or just
Okay.
whatever you feel, whatever you. Yeah.
May we all exist in the highest frequency possible, exuding love, peace, and joy. May we make ourselves more fully into the instruments of source energy that we are always designed and created to be. May we find joy in what we do. May we find moments throughout our day to be in gratitude, in joy, and in appreciation. And may we all serve in the unique ways that we were created to serve the greatest and highest good of all, forever and ever. That's it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay.
I was waiting for an amen or namaste or hi-ho. I didn't know what I didn't know what was going to be the ending, but that was beautiful. Thank you.
Well, namaste. Thank you for
Namaste.
having me.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
I'll send you a message and maybe we can catch up.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So everyone, thank you so much for this beautiful webinar. It's been fantastic having Daniel. Next week, we will have Peter Dennis, who is I'm trying to turn my video back on. Let me see what I can do here.
I see you. You're just,
Yeah,
you're
I had you spotlighted. So
yeah.
the next week we have Peter Dennis. I don't know if you know who he is, Daniel. He's written many books on channeling. He's a hypnotherapist, and he doesn't channel himself, but he's helped many people start channeling. And through it came about in a very backward way, but he sort of backward engineered channeling through dealing with different channelers he was doing hypnotherapy with. And has a very interesting perspective on ways people connect, the different ways that they're coming in. And he's just fascinating. And he has such a interest without any ambition as to channel, but just to really understand the mechanics of it. It's quite interesting. So he's going to be on, and we'll have him next week. So thank you again, Daniel. Thank you to everyone. Thank you. And just to
remind everybody,
on the 23rd of August, we have our pendulum class coming up, and you can register for that at classes@hucolo.com. I'll be teaching it, and it's a class teaching you how to use the pendulum to connect to yourself, to connect to energy, move energy, understand energy, answer questions. It does it all. So the only thing you need for the pendulum class, you do need a pendulum, but if you don't have one, you can tie a ring or something on the end of a string, and we'll use that as well. Anything can be an oracle. That should actually be the name of the class. Anything can be an oracle, but that's another class. So much love to everyone. Thank you so much. Next week, Peter Dennis, and then after that, we'll be back with Jim. So have a wonderful, fantastic week. I can't say it. Stay safe. Okay. Much love to you. Bye.